Where scroll animations allowed us to trigger an animation that carried itself out with a predefined duration, scroll transforms let us translate scrolling into smooth, gradual changes to the position, scale, rotation, and even opacity of an element. In this lesson, we'll look at how easy it is to make it happen in Framer. The best way to learn about scroll transforms is definitely to get in there and just start playing with them. And for this lesson, we're going to be using the same project file as we did for the previous lesson, but here we're going to jump into the second page called scroll transforms. And if we scroll down here, we've got the same elements on the canvas as we did in the previous lesson, but rather than triggering these to animate automatically over a preset duration, we're going to have them animate gradually as we scroll. So let's start with this first sort of hero image here, and I'll scroll down on the properties panel and click to add an effect. And then this time, instead of adding the scroll animation effect, we're going to add the scroll transform effect. And in this popover, we get some familiar controls. We get a trigger, and then we get to set a from effect, and we get to set a to effect. And the to effect is really something new because previously with the appear effect and with scroll animations, we could only transform the way the layer looked at the beginning of the animation. And then the end of the animation was the layer's normal appearance on the canvas. Here, we can actually play with both if we want to. We can go from transformed to normal, we can go from normal to transformed, or we can go from transformed to transformed. It's totally up to us. For this example, I'm only going to play with the from. The to, I'm going to leave that alone. So the layer is going to end up looking the way it does here on the canvas. So let's actually do that. I'm going to click on from, and we'll say, let's start this at 0% opacity. And then rather than scaling up from 0.5 or 50% of its original size, let's have it scale up from 0.7 or 70% of its original size. And then if I go back and look at the to effect, I'm going to leave the to effect alone. Normal opacity, normal scale, normal everything, which means the layer is just going to end up looking the way it does here on the canvas. So at the beginning of the animation, we'll have this appearance, and then as we scroll, it'll transform gradually toward this appearance. But then the trigger allows us to decide how much scrolling are we going to have to do to get from the beginning of this scroll transform to the end of this scroll transform. And you'll see the default here just says on scroll. And what on scroll means is as we scroll from the very top of the page to the very bottom of the page, we're going to go from the very beginning of the transform to the very end of the transform. So that's going to happen very slowly and very gradually. Let's actually see what that looks like. I'm going to press Command P on my Mac to go into preview mode. And as I scroll, you'll see here barely anything happening because we're near the top of the page, which means we're near the beginning of this scroll transform where it's just coming up from 70% scale and from 0% opacity. And as I scroll toward the bottom, we're continuing to play out that transform. We're continuing to play out the animation. We just can't see it because we've already scrolled past it. So on scroll is definitely not ideal for something like this because we want the transition to pretty much be over by the time we reach this point, by the time the entire layer is in view. So spoiler alert, we want to use layer in view. So I'm going to head back. I'm going to leave preview mode and I'm going to head back to our scroll transform and I'm going to change the trigger from on scroll to layer in view. And you'll notice when you choose layer in view, there's no top, middle, bottom, nothing like that. It's just the height of this layer from top to bottom as it crosses over the bottom of the viewport and comes into view. That's going to be driving this animation as we scroll. So another way to think of it is if this layer is 600 pixels tall, then this transform is going to happen over 600 pixels of scrolling, starting when the top edge comes into view and ending when the bottom edge comes into view. So let's take a look at what this looks like in the preview window. I'll press Command P again, scroll down, and now here our transformation starts just as the layer comes into view. So it looks like the animation is happening all along because we don't see that it's not playing until we reach it. And then we keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And once we reach the bottom, there we go. We've reached the end. So again, if this is 600 pixels tall, the animation is taking place over 600 pixels of scrolling. I think the image is a bit taller than that, but you get the idea. It's just an example. Cool. Now let me show you what transition means when it comes to scroll transforms. If I click to add a transition, you'll notice that in the transition settings, I just get the spring options. I just have a time-based spring or a physics-based spring. I don't get those easing curves because, again, we don't have a preset duration that this is going to ease over. It's the visitor that's driving the motion. So we can just add a little expressiveness to that by, let's say, I'm going to get really extreme with this so it's easy to see. I'm going to bring the damping way down. So this is super springy. And when I preview it now, you'll notice that if I scroll and stop, when I reach that stopping point, that spring easing is going to take place and add a little bit of secondary motion to the movement. But it's totally up to you. Use your own discretion. The default spring is actually kind of nice. It just takes a little bit of the edge off when it comes to jerky input. Just kind of smooths it out a little tiny bit. So I'll leave that on there, and then for good measure, let's just do another one. I'm going to select this video component that's nested inside. I'm going to add an effect. I'm going to choose scroll transform once more. And for this effect, again, I'm just going to edit the from state. I'm going to leave the opacity at 1 because, again, this is a child of the parent that's going to be transforming. So it's going to come in from 0% opacity either way because it's going to inherit that from its parent. But the scale, I'm going to have this go from bigger to smaller. I'm actually going to have this go from 1.5 or 150% of its original size, and then come to rest at the size that it appears on the canvas. And I'll go ahead and add a transition for good measure. And then we better fix our trigger here because on scroll, again, that's going to take place from the very top of the page to the very bottom of the page. It's going to be way too slow and gradual. So I'll switch this one to layer in view as well. Now let's preview it. I'll hit Command P, and as I scroll down, there we go. We get this cool kind of nested effect where the child layer is coming in from a larger size and the parent layer is growing from a smaller size and bringing them both up in opacity together. All right, now for our next example. When we come down here, you may remember from the previous lesson that because this layer is a bit bigger and this layer is a bit smaller, if we use layer in view, these animations aren't going to start at the same time. And with scroll transforms, they're not going to end at the same time either because the top is in a different position and the bottom is in a different position. So we're going to have different ranges where the animation takes place. So much like scroll animations, our fix is to switch the trigger instead to section in view. So let's do that. I'm going to select this one first. We'll go to effects. We'll again add a scroll transform. In this case, I'm going to have it start at 0% opacity. I'll leave the scale alone and we'll have the offset transform over time. And I'm going to do a pretty significant offset here. I'm going to do negative 300 pixels. So this starts way over here to the left, and then it's going to come to rest at its normal opacity in its normal position. Again, I'll add the spring, and then here's where things get different. For the trigger, I'm going to choose section in view. So a little bit of setup here. Again, like the previous lesson, we've got this parent frame here. And if we head down to the scroll section part of the properties panel, you can see here that I've added a scroll section and named it section all magic. But again, if you don't have a scroll section set for the frame, just get the frame selected, click to add a scroll section, give it a name, and you can name it whatever you want as long as you remember that name for at least 7 seconds. And then when we head back over and select the element we were working on, we can head back to the popover and we can now choose the name of that section, which again is called section all magic. Now with section in view, because a section can be much larger than the layer that we're actually animating, we do get to choose if we want it to animate as it crosses over the top of the viewport, the center of the viewport, or the bottom of the viewport. I'm going to switch this to center so that way as the section comes up and crosses the vertical center of the viewport, that's when the animation is going to begin to take place. And as that section crosses over that center line, that is the span of scrolling where that animation is going to take place. So with that set, I think we're all good. So let's preview this. I'll press Command P to preview it. And as I scroll down, we're going to reach that point right about now. Right about now, the top of that section is reaching the vertical middle of the viewport. And you can see, sure enough, that is where that animation begins to take place. And the result ends up being pretty similar to layer in view, but the difference is going to be when we add this second element in and have that driven by the same section in view. So let's go back. And I'm actually going to right click on this first scroll transform that we created. I'm going to click copy, and then I'm going to click on this second element, scroll down to effects, right click, and then choose paste. And I don't want exactly the same transformation to happen, so I'm going to go back to the popover, and then here for the effect, I'm going to have this start at an offset of positive 300 on the x-axis. So that way it starts on the right and then it's going to transition in toward the left. And then we should be good to go. So I'll preview again. And as I scroll down, there's our layers in view. And then I keep scrolling. And now this section, as it comes into view, is driving both of these layers to transform. So with something like this, you'll notice that I do have to scroll pretty far before this animation actually finishes taking place. And that's because the bottom of the section also has to reach the middle of the viewport. It would actually be nice if this ended when the bottom of the section reached the bottom of the viewport. So I'm actually going to change that. I'm going to go back to the design canvas. I'm going to select both of these elements holding Shift, and then I'll click the transform to edit it, and I'll switch it to bottom instead. So now this should end a little bit earlier. I'll hit Command P again to preview this. And as I scroll down, there's our first couple layers. And then here, since this section has crossed the bottom of the viewport, our transformation has already started. We just can't see it yet. And if we keep scrolling, there it is. It's made some progress. It's further along. And then sure enough, it ends when it's about in the middle of the screen, because that is the moment at which the bottom of the section has reached the bottom of the viewport. And that is exactly how we set it. So that is looking pretty good. And one last thing I want to point out is that when we switch to section and view, we got a brand new button down here that says add section. So if you wanted to, you could use multiple sections to drive multiple transformations for the same layer. And there you have it. Transforming elements on scroll really lets the visitor drive, bringing a sense of connection between input and motion. It's a super fun and powerful way to make your site feel more dynamic and reactive. That's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.